Shalom Aleichem and welcome to Machan Le'ira online smicha. As we're doing the last minute preparations for Shavuos, I'd like to share with you some thoughts about Matan Torah, about Shavuos. You know, the Medrash says on Chumash Bamidbar, the Medrash says that Mikan Shonu Chachamim, the Chachamim taught us, Begimel Dvarim Nitna Torah. Torah was given to us with three things: Be'esh, B'mayim, U'Bamidbar. With fire, there was fire happening, water, and in the desert. And each one of them symbolizes a connection, a feeling, or a way of life, a way of service, how we have to connect to, how do we really connect to Torah. The obvious one is you have to have the fair and balance of sometimes have Aish, fire, passion, and sometimes you have to have Mayim, cool. When it comes to mitzvahs aseh, you have to fight it all the way through. And with the bren, when it comes to mitzvahs leisasa, where the Yetzer Hara is trying to seduce you to do bad, you have to cool down. And midbar, we know all around how it talks about midbar is anivus. Only with humility you could have a true kinyan of Torah. Many other mefarshim explains this medrash. Meir Shapiro said that the way we commit to Torah is we commit to Torah from fire and vaser. We're not going to say that only when things are going good we're going to study Torah. Let it be Eish, Rahman al-Islam, like Avram Avinu was tested by Eish. He was thrown into the Kushan Eish. Or Mayim, Nachshon ben Aminadov. Nachshon ben Aminadov was jumped into the water. Or the Midbar, where the Yidden were 40 years in the Midbar. Whatever it takes, whatever thrown against us or towards us, we have to fight, overcome it, and connect to Torah. Another beautiful pshat I read about Mayim, the connection to Torah, the connection between water and Torah, is water is a drink that unless you're thirsty, you're not going to enjoy the drinking water. You can't just gobble it down. If you're thirsty, you'll enjoy the water. And perhaps the real way of learning Torah is like a person drinking water. If he doesn't drink it out of thirst, out of hunger, he won't appreciate it. We have to create within ourselves a tremendous love for Torah and a tremendous thirst for Torah, and only then you acquire Torah in the highest possible way. But I do want to add a couple of other thoughts. The famous Gemara brings that Rabbi Yossi said about Shavuos. He said, "Ilav haYom kagarim." If not for this day, if not for the day of Shavuos, Kama Yosef Ika B'Shuka. There are many other people called Yosef in the market. I wouldn't be any different than the standard folk on the street, because just like they're walking around doing nothing, empty, if I wouldn't have Torah, I would be like them. And the question is asked, many questions. I mean, Rabbi Yossi was known for his humility, for his being humble. Suddenly he praises himself. But I'm going to touch upon a detail that he said, because I heard two lessons from it, one word in this conversation. He didn't say, if not for Matan Torah. He said, if not for this day, Ilav haYomo. Why didn't he say, if not for the giving of the Torah? There is something hidden in stressing Ilav haYomo, if not for this day. So there's two Pirushim said about this. Number one, Rabbi Yossi, we know that in his elder age, Nebuch became blind. And Rabbi Yossi at one time was thinking to himself, a person, Nebuch, when he's blind, seems to forget much more often than a person who sees things. It doesn't enter so deep, so it leaves him faster. So Rabbi Yossi was sort of lost or broken. How does he connect to Torah when he seems Rahman al-Islam to forget it? So the answer, what made Rabbi Yossi what calmed Rabbi Yossi down with this worry that he had, that he's going to forget Torah, he feels like he's not part of it, is the fact that Yomo, the day of Shavuos. Why? Because if you think about it, why are we celebrating the giving of the Torah on Shavuos? round one wasn't a good experience for Klal Yisrael. The Eibishter appeared, yes, and then he calls Moshe Rabbeinu up. He wants to give them the luchos, and we know what he saw, and Moshe Rabbeinu broke the luchos. He saved the Jews by breaking the luchos. Round two is when he came down Yom Kippur. He came down Yom Kippur, and it was B'chashoy, and that from there on we got it forever. We got it everlasting. So the question is, if you want to celebrate the giving of the Torah, celebrate it when it was something that lasted. Yom Kippur. Don't make a fuss about Shavuos. And actually, Chazal tell us, what did Moshe Rabbeinu do with the pieces of the luchos that he broke? He broke the luchos, he dropped it. So Chazal say he didn't just leave it there or throw it away. Chas v'sholem. He collected it, and even the shivrei luchos, the pieces of luchos, just like the whole luchos were set in the Aron, in the Beis Hamikdash, in the Mishkan, they had the luchos. So the shivrei luchos were put in there too. What's the significance of that? The significance of that is, yes, there is the person that learns, and he's complete. He's like the whole luchos. But even a person who's broken, even the luchos that are broken, that's incomplete, is also important. So Rabbi Yossi says to himself, Ilav hayoyma. If not for this day, if the fact that we're celebrating Shavuos today, the fact that we're celebrating Matan Torah today and not Yom Kippur, I would have been a broken person because I don't have the complete learning. But now that I see that the Eibishter honors even the broken luchos, even the person who tries and does his best, and whatever happens, happens, I have what to celebrate too. That's why he saw that from the fact that we're celebrating round one of the giving of the Torah. Another pshat, Ilav hayoyma, Torah is different than most of the other mitzvahs. Most of the other mitzvahs, you have strike one, strike two. Meaning to say, try to do it now. If there's always plan B, you could always do it a little later. You can make it up. Torah, ilav hayoyma. Every day that you don't learn Torah, that day will never come back. That study that you're meant to study is never come back. So Rabbi Yossi says, I want to teach the lesson of how you have to commit to Torah. You have to commit to Torah day by day. I should not let any day pass by without learning Torah. There's another interesting discussion I saw that's connected to this. We all know that the Eibishter, when he came to give us the Torah, before he came to us, the Pasuk teaches us, Hashem went around to the nation offering to them the Torah. Each one for their own reason didn't want it. And then he comes to the Yidden say Nasiv or Nishma, and we win this great prize. Now the question is asked, I'll say it very bluntly, I'll say it how I read it. The former chief rabbi, the Sephardic chief rabbi, Ramart Chaliyo, says, could you imagine a chassan that's going to propose to a kala, they're about to get engaged, he wants to propose to a kala, and he says to her, listen, you're not the first girl I met. I met many, many, many girls, and I was willing to marry many, many other girls. But none of the girls until you was willing to marry me. You're the first one that's willing to marry me. So this is the good news I'm telling you. She would definitely send him away. She would definitely think about why does nobody want him. When the Eibishter comes to us, he says to the Yidden, I tried the Mayavim, I tried the Yishmaelim, I tried this one, that. Nobody wanted it. Oh, you guys wanted it, I'm giving to you. Doesn't it sound cheap? Doesn't it make it a way? How is that a praise for Klal Yisrael? And the answer is, the Eibishter, by saying that, he's not saying, oh, you guys don't understand. You're the only ones that are going to fall into this trap. No. The Eibishter is saying, I'm actually showing you how special you are. The Goyim, each nation by itself that pushed away the Torah, is because they couldn't understand how their life, how their secular life, how their physical life could go on without loisig noivel, without killing, they thought that that's a stira. They thought that they don't realize how religion overtakes their being. The Yidden, however, the reason why you're willing to take the Torah is because you really know what's the depth, what's the purpose and the mission of the Bria Sa'olam. So I'm telling, the Eibishter is basically telling Yidden, it's not that this is being chas v'shalom dumped on you. the Eibusher says, I so much honor you, I so much love you, because I see that you really know what the mission in the world is, what the mission of the whole Bria is, and you're willing to do it because you understand that the world was created so loisig noivu. The world was created for these mitzvahs. So he's actually showing them a tremendous love. And I'd like to conclude with two other small pieces. You know, in the davening we say, in the brachas HaTorah we say, that we call it Torah's emes. Hashem nasan lanu Torah's emes. The Eibishter gave us the true Torah. What kind of shvach is that about the Eibishter? That the Eibishter gave us the true Torah. What do you think, Chas v'Shalom? He gave us a not true Torah? What, he gave us a false? What does it mean? So I saw somebody explain. It doesn't mean true. It means he gave us everlasting. Whatever he gave us is not one time, 1,000 years ago. The same halacha applies forever and ever, and that is only because it's coming from the Eibishter. You look around and anything Gashmias, what was the style in clothing many years ago changed over. Cars changed over. Everything that used to be the hottest back then, today is completely different, and it's going to keep on changing. The only thing that since the Eibishter gave until today and forever and ever is going to last the same exact way is Torah, because Torah is emes, and emes doesn't change. And this is why the bracha at the end of this week's parsha it says, Zois asu v'chyu v'lo yamusu. Do this and you will live. And that's talking about being careful with the Aron, and nothing negative will happen. So there was a Chassidish Rebbe that said, Zois, the word Zois, is a reference to Torah. Ein Zois ela Torah, because we say, the Zois ha-Torah shesam Moshe. So the Chassidish Rebbe says, Zois asu, study Torah. And if you study Torah, v'chyu v'lo yamusu, you're going to live and you're going to have an everlasting effect.